Okay. Mm. Take two. This is something I'm going to have to solve. I can't do video editing, so I am what I suppose most people would call a one-take wonder. It's like my binding knee. First time I've been able to bend that knee. Well, not bend it. I can bend it, but bending it without pain is a different thing. It's Sunday, 25th of July. No. It's the last night was Guru Purnima. For the first time ever today, I got called a guru, and that fucking scared the shit out of me. So I also found that it was a huge privilege. You know, guru means, well, for me it means dispeller. Yeah, one who, dispeller of darkness, I suppose, is the easiest way of putting it. Guru, it's both Sanskrit words. Or Sanskrit syllables, should I say. Yeah, so dispeller of darkness. Yeah. So somebody has felt that I've dispelled enough darkness from their world to call me guru, and so I need to start earning it. So I did a 101 video earlier. There are a number of areas where I have both knowledge and opinions, and I want to start putting them out here. So well, it's partly for me as well. Like that way, I can start to gather my own thoughts and work out what it is and where I need to work from, and what I'll probably do as future playlists. But just for today, for those of you who do know me from Facebook, you'll see that in my about information, I do put that I identify myself as a yogi. Notice not a yoga teacher, yogi. I live, and I have lived for since about age 11, 12ish, yogic lifestyle. Very heavily supplemented. 2008, what's that? 13 years ago. 14. Gosh, yeah, 13 years ago. By formal yogic training from a yogi from Shivananda Yoga Society. It is Shivananda's Yoga Society. And I practiced quite religiously for 5 years before I stopped practicing religiously. And it was for the record, and these things are entirely coincidental, I'm sure. Around about the time that I stopped practicing yoga was just about the time that a little molecular biology problem inside my colon turned into malignant cancer. And that's why I'm back here in a way, talking about yoga today. This is from this is a personal perspective. Okay, I'm not teaching anybody. However, I'm very happy to teach you what I know, but I'm not a yoga teacher. Okay, but I'm here at the moment just to give you my take on. It's not so much my take. It's really what yoga means to me and what it's done for me. So I'm 20, 21. I'm over 2 years away from cancer diagnosis, and I had yoga at the beginning, and yoga is the thing that the only thing that I never threw away in between getting diagnosed with cancer and now. I had to do chemotherapy. I had no choice. I had a choice, yeah, but in the greater scheme of things, I had no choice. But in the meantime, I've accepted and I've rejected lots of therapies, drugs, and all kinds of things. And the only thing that was sort of one of the principal things that I have retained is yoga. And there's a very good reason for that. The yoga that I was given by my teacher, Mike, is ostensibly a very traditional yoga, and it's Patanjali yoga. It just it is. It's I suppose if you wanted to give it a name, then I suppose the closest it would come to would it would be Ashtanga yoga would be fine, and yeah, Raja yoga as described by Swami Vivekananda. Yeah, it's this is all the same thing, and yeah, we do exercise, we do body stretches, but it's a small aspect of what it is we do. Yoga. Patanjali's second sutra defines yoga as yogas chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is the calming of the ripples of the mind. That's good enough for now. Yoga is a lifestyle. It's not a religion. It's not a belief system. There is no requirement to believe anything at the beginning. As a matter of fact, right at the end, you won't believe anything. Belief is not required. Okay. It's a prescribed system of living. And Ashtanga, yeah. Ashtanga, I think, has been slightly hijacked by BKS Iyengar and his somewhat slightly misinformed followers. What do you want to call them? So Ashtanga, Ashtanga, Asht is 8. Anga is limbs is quite close, yeah. So Ashtanga is 8 limbs. So 8 limbs of yoga. Again, as prescribed by Patanjali. So, oh gosh, how many fingers have I got? I've got 5 fingers there, and I can use 3 from this one. Okay, so we've got Yama, Yamas, Asana, Prana, Pranayama, sorry, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. It's not so much remembering them anymore, but it's for me, it's remembering the day when I actually remembered why they all sort of like worked in that way. But the first 2 limbs are Yama and Yamas. They're essentially I suppose they're like yogic terms and conditions. One is to do with our inner life. So without even moving outside of a room, we take upon ourselves to look after ourselves, to give our physical body and okay. It's not really a time to talk about yogic sheaths. We recognise that we're physical bodies, and we have to look after this body, and that includes basic things like keeping it clean, nourishing it properly. It's a program of self-care. That's what it essentially boils down to. Yamas is how we deal with other people. So it's it's things like the principles of non-violence. Truthfulness is not the same. Dualistic Dogma as Judeo-Christianity. It's not right and wrong. It's about living a good life in respect to in respect to the way we live with others. There are aspects not taking other people's partners. It's basic respect, and yogis can't kill, and there's lots of things we can't do that Christians can't do. I don't know. It's about the way we treat others. So it's basic. There's a phrase I'm not going to use about dignity and respect, but yeah, it's the way we treat others. But so it's about being good. But the principal guiding light of the way we treat others is non-violence, ahimsa. So that's yama yamas asana. Okay, asana is the one where it's the one where everybody lives. It's where yoga always lives. Asanas. It's those movements of the bodies. It's postures. Asanas are postures. As somebody who purports to be a practitioner of Patanjali Yoga, for me, asana means I think Patanjali describes it as that position in which you can sit that is comfortable. But one of the requirements of an asana, and this is where it's good to think about what an asana is actually for. And there are asana does not translate from Sanskrit very easily. It can mean your bum. It can mean the thing that you sit on. If you get a yoga mat and fold it up, that's an asana. If you just want to sit on it, that's an asana. But it's important to remember the ultimate aim of yogic practice is samadhi. It's realization of the self. And for meditation, and by meditation, we expect to be able to disappear for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, 4 hours, 6 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, 5 days, 7 days, 14 days, 28 days, 3 months. Yogis sit. There isn't really an upper limit as to how long a yogi can sit. In an asana, anyway. And that's why an asana is a position in which you can sit and potentially lose control of this body. So it's a position where you don't fall over. That's one of the things you can't. Standing up is not an asana. It just isn't. They're important, but they're not important for asanas are not important for wearing tight clothes. Asanas are not important for turning up to classes. Asanas are not important for I see there's adverts for asana. You see all these people doing all these movements, and they're doing it so hard and they're so sweaty. No, that's not what yoga's for. Okay, so yeah, we do asanas. So we do yama asanas, pranayama. This is where if you know me, this is where I put 90% of my yogic efforts go into pranayama, breathing. I remember one of the first things I ever learned at school was that you can go quite a long time without eating, but you can't go very long without water. And it's true. You can get 3-4 days. It gets unpleasant after about 4 days without water, unless you've got a bag, in which case it doesn't even get to 4 days. But yeah, try not breathing for get somebody to stop you breathing for 10 minutes and see how you get on. Okay. Yeah. So pranayama, and within the layer of pranayama there's so much, and that's where if you spend any time with me in the future, you'll be doing a lot of breath work. I don't put a great deal of emphasis on body asanas. I do find them useful. That they have all kinds of uses. So for me, I'm 57. I do in between 5 and 12 asanas every day. Not many of them are energetic. I don't do good Surya Namaskar. Or I do aspects of Surya Namaskar, but my body at the moment won't do Surya Namaskar. My right hip is not good. My left knee is not good at the moment. And without a left knee and a right hip, it's difficult to do a lot of yoga asanas. I rely on Vajrasan for a lot of my pranayama work. So we've got yama, nyama, asana, pranayama. Okay. Now here are these first four limbs of yoga are the ones where yoga teachers can help you. It's the one, well, especially asanas and pranayamas where I got my best kick or best input from a yoga teacher. And but it's only by practicing and incorporating these into daily practice sadhana, into a daily practice whereby I can call myself a yogi all day long, but if I don't do this stuff, I'll be a pretty shit yogi. Yeah, and I know that, and I know the days that I haven't done this practice. But this is essentially what yogi life is about. It's about observing those yama yamas. It's about getting down on the knees, especially, and doing the breathing work. And this is, and it all really, most of this work is really just to arrive at this stage, this fifth stage of pratyahara. The easiest way to describe it is withdrawal of the senses, withdrawal of the. So what you're doing is you're cutting off the information that is fed into you by the five senses: touch, taste, smell, hearing. I've left one out. You know what it is. So it's to not hear. It's to not have those five senses anymore. That's pratyahara. That then enables you to do dharana. Sixth line, dharana. Focus. It's and you got to remember as when we say all of these things, it's about conscious. When we talk about focus, it's about being able to consciously focus, and eventually through the practice of yoga, we that yama, yamas, asana, pranayama, pratyahara becomes automatic over time. It becomes easier. It becomes second nature. Because we've worked on those five limbs consciously and hard for a long time. The later limbs of dharana, dhyana, and samadhi become easier. Because the reason why we're doing this is to achieve enlightenment, self-realization, nirvana, samadhi, what do Buddhists call it? Santosha, Santori. I can't remember. Liberation. That knowledge that we are not the body, not the spirit, not the soul. We are the soul, but we're not the body. We're not this outer layer of stuff. Yeah. That's all yoga's for, really. It's just it's a bunch of our fucking self-realization bollocks. And up until 2 years ago, I just used to do this stuff because it's what I did, and I didn't do it very well, and I didn't do it very often, and my practice was poor and shabby, and then I got cancer, and then I started to do I don't want to fucking die, And at some point, I think I know pretty much where it was. I really leaned into the breathing, the pranayama, and it paid off big time. And a whole bunch of stuff that I knew intellectually before I all of a sudden knew in a different way. And I then also started to learn. It's not a way of saying it. Know a lot of things that I knew before, and I also realised that a lot of information I had before was bad. Yeah, so self-realization for me was it was like a defragmentation of my knowledge. I got a lot of dross cut off it, and a lot of it was very nicely consolidated. And yoga, or being a yogi, is, for me, it's about conscious living. Okay. Yeah, conscious living. So conscious movement forward. So it's progress. Having a plan. Having a plan is about, tonight's Sunday. Do I know what I'm doing tomorrow morning? If I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow morning, that's not very conscious. It means I expect to wake up and just brush teeth. So it requires conscious input. So it's it's movement forward, movement in forward direction, in balance with other people, and in harmony with everything else as well. So, what do we get to? 22 minutes. That's not bad. That's not bad. I didn't make it today. Okay, but that's pretty good. It'll do for now. Yeah, we've set out the stall. It's my kind of yoga, and I'm going to adapt it for use with trauma. I've been through a lot. I'm sitting here with PTSD-C, post-traumatic stress disorder-complex, and I have got myself through a very difficult period without the help of antidepressants, benzodiazepines, or anything else. And I can help you do the same thing as well. Okay, alright, so I'm going to end it there. If you've got to 23 minutes, you, my friend,